Hey guys, how's it going? I think we're going steady. I think we're going steady. This is like the third live in a row that I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm putting on socks. I put you guys before the gym. So, how is everybody doing? Everybody's not on yet. Um, So I got a question the other day about leaving my marriage. And honestly, I never thought that I would ever tell anyone. Like, I don't want to talk about divorce. I didn't think that I would be telling people that I was divorced or all of this. Certainly didn't think that I'd be doing Facebook Lives about it. So I got a question because they just wanted to know, was it lonely? And hey, Charlene. And they just wanted to know, was it lonely when I left? And I know that I have a lot of you are in relationships that you're on the fence about. You want to get out. You're not happy. You're being abused. You're being neglected. A lot of things, right? And I know that even if you're not in a marriage that you're unhappy with, there are things in your life that you're unhappy with, that you want to get out of, maybe you want to get into something. But it took so long for me to decide to get out, to decide that that's even an option for me, because I don't believe in divorce, but I also did it. I mean, I do. It's a thing, but it's not ideal. But I know in the world that we live in that we're just not taught how to have a relationship. We're not taught how to have a healthy relationship. And this is something that we're supposed to have our entire life, right? We're supposed to get married and, till death do us part. And nobody teaches you how to be in that. So I know that a lot of you have reached out. You're in unhappy relationships. You're in unhappy careers. You're in unhappy with your body, a lot of situations, but the big thing is relationships for a lot of you. And I had a girl reach out and she's like, were you lonely when you left? And there are a few things there, right? Yes, I was lonely. Yes, I'm lonely now sometimes, right? But everything in your life is calling you back to a relationship with you. So even if you're in a relationship where you're not happy, even if you're in a relationship where you're not happy, you're probably lonely now. You're probably unhappy now. And when my mom called back when she was alive, when my dad left and my mom called her mom and said, I'm going to be alone now. My grandmother was like, you've been alone for a very long time. This is not really that different. And she's like, yes, okay. Because you can be in a relationship and be alone. And the thing that, the phrase that I kept thinking of when I was trying to get out, trying to convince myself to get out of the marriage, was I would rather be alone and single than alone and married. And I kept repeating that over and over again, because if you are in a relationship, yes, you can heal a lot of things, right? But you have to know that that's the right decision for you. You have to know that that's what you want to do, right? And most people come to me because they need to figure out what the answer is for them, right? Because you don't want to walk away and feel like you wasted a bunch of time. I'm getting off all my points. All my points. But the thing of it is like, someone asked me, would I do that again? That was 12 years. And I would. And I'm thinking, God, is that true? Thank God we don't have to do this. But I wouldn't change it. Okay, I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't change it. Because all of that has made me who I am. All of that has brought me to this point. And all of that has wisdom for me to pass on to you. And so I wouldn't change it. So no matter how long you've been in a relationship, you're not wasting time. You're not wasting time with the person you're with, because ultimately this is, I'm a little tired, I think. Ultimately, this is about your relationship with you. So you're always 100% of the time working on this relationship with yourself, even if you're neglecting yourself, right? You're still in this relationship with yourself. So anyone in that path, like your ex-boyfriends, your current boyfriend or husband or whoever, girlfriend, those people are just interacting with your relationship with yourself. So you really don't lose any time. And that may not be a comfort to you, but ultimately it's always going to be you backing you. It's ultimately going to come back to you. So if you are worried about being lonely, not being able to make it, any fear, honestly, if you're worried about these things, just know that you're not wasting your time with wherever you are, and that whatever fears you have, it's worse to stay where you are than to move forward. It's worse to stay in that situation. So number one, I guess I'll go through and number these. Number one is, wherever you are in your situation, your pain will get worse. Your anxiety will get worse. Your depression will get worse. Your fears will get worse. So your situation internally will get worse, but also your situation externally will get worse. So if you're in an abusive relationship, that's going to get worse. If you're in with somebody that isn't treating you right, that's going to get worse. If you're in a job, we're just going to throw in job and career or business. If you're in something and you're not happy, it's going to get worse, right? Because everything in your life, internally, externally, is driving you towards this relationship with yourself. Everything wants to lead you back to you. And that's one of the hard lessons that I've learned. So that's the first thing. Your pain is going to get worse until you till you resolve that issue. Till you resolve that issue going on in your marriage and your relationship, it's going to keep getting worse. So really, you've got to, maybe you don't know what you're going to do, but you've got to figure that out. It took me a really long time. It was probably 3 or 4 years after I was like, I'm done. I'm completely done, till I walked out the door. 3 or 4 years. That's a really long time. If I could have figured that out quicker, I would have, right? So what we want to do is come to a place inside of us where we don't feel that internal conflict, right? We want to stay, but we want to go. We're on the fence, but we don't know. I don't know how to keep rhyming this, right? So what do? Get to that resolution as quick as possible. Hire a coach, someone who's been there, done that, someone who can pull out of you what you need to do. Like, I don't give advice. I don't think I do. what I do is I figure out what you need. I help you figure out what's inside of you and what you need to do for you. I help you come to that resolution. I help you get to a point where there's no internal conflict or divide, right? And if you're on here, say hi. Say where you're from too, because I'm kind of curious who's on and where you're from and maybe even how we connected. I know I get into the flow here and I just keep kind of going. But I do want to hear from you guys. I do want to connect with you and I do want to meet you. I've reached out to a few of you and, well, lots of you actually. That's how I got this question. I want to know what's going on in your life because it's hard. It's really hard. Life is hard. Business is hard. It's not something that, I mean, you can make it up on the fly, but you need support. So I want to know what's going on with you guys. I want to know how I can help, what you guys want to hear about, all the things, right? And I think you guys all sleep in because not very many people are in today. Maybe I should have done my workout first. Okay. So 1, your pain is going to grow. The fear of being alone, you're more alone now. Whatever pain you are in right now is worse than the pain when you get out. So if you're afraid of being alone, you're probably already feeling alone and lonely, and it's going to be worse if you stay. It's going to get better if you go, right? Because then you can do what's right for you. You can reach out to friends. You can reach out to people. You're never alone, right? So that's number 2. The third thing that I did really was I did a lot of planning. Looked up travel stuff, looked up where to go, looked at how to live cheap, obviously. I guess I looked into dumpster diving. But plan ahead. Plan what you're going to do, right? Even if, okay, this is for, I guess this is a really easy tip, right? But I'm like, oh, this is kind of a surface level tip. But even if you are going for, let's say, a bodybuilding competition, right? Plan what you're going to do after the competition. Plan what you're going to do after any big leap, right? Plan what you're going to, because if after the competition you're on this high, plan what you're going to do after the Tony Robbins event. That's a good one because so many people are going to this Tony Robbins event because they're stuck and then they don't have a plan for, like, when they leave, they think that they're just going to ride on this high. And then they have this huge drop where they're like, wait, what do I do? So plan ahead. Plan what you're going to do. There's always resources. And here's the thing, when the pain grows of whatever you're going through, when the pain grows, then you're maybe right now you don't feel resourceful. You don't feel like you can get support. You don't feel like you can do it, right? When the pain grows, it's going to push you to a point where you, like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to figure this out, right? You get to that point where I'm going to make this work. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get into this. I'm going to get, through this. So you've got to plan ahead. If you have this intuition that things aren't working, start making plans. Start, at least making plans here, researching, finding roommates, figuring out how other people do it, and reach out to people, right? Reach out and talk to people. When we're going through something, we just hide. After my marriage, I hid. I ran from, well, obviously my mom had passed away. Obviously I wasn't talking to my dad. My brother and I weren't talking. And I just stopped talking to all my friends because I was so embarrassed. I had so much shame and I was so embarrassed that I was just like, I'm not talking to anybody because I felt judged. mostly because I was judging myself. I felt judged, and I felt like I had failed. So you've got to find people that this is part of the planning ahead, that you can trust, that you like know that you're the one judging yourself, right? Just reach out and make sure you get support for this stuff. Another thing is you can always go back. You can always go back. I left and then I went back. Well, actually, he moved out, right? And I was like, no, I called him up. No, let's make this work. And I went back and couldn't even unpack my car because I knew inside that I couldn't make myself stay. But you can pretty much always go back. Even software engineering companies are calling me still, and I'm like, no. But it's so much better to cross that line, to cross over to the other side. But you have to get support. You have to be inside of you. You have to be like 100% that you're going to do this, right? And for so long, we sit on this like, I don't know what to do, back and forth on the fence, right? So that's the resolution that we need to come to. And the fifth thing was you haven't wasted time, right? We think, oh, I've been in this for 11, 12 years. We've been here for so many years. We put in so much work. But you're putting work into a boat that's sinking, right? You have to know that everything that you go through is leading you toward the life that you want and need and desire, right? It's leading you toward a better life. So you have to trust in the process. You have to trust that everything is leading you where you need to be. And you have to trust in yourself. And this is a big one for people. This is something I work extensively with my clients on, is learning to love yourself and trust yourself and be so strong inside, like strong-minded, and know what you want. Be so strong inside that the things on the outside can't really, I guess they're always going to have an impact on you, but you can still keep going. You can keep saying yes to yourself. You can keep focused on what's best for you and what you really want. So I hope this has helped. I hope you all get up on your Saturday morning at some point and watch this video. But I know a lot of you are struggling in relationships. A lot of you are struggling to figure out what to do. So rewatch this video, reach out to me, let me know if you have questions. I really want to support you guys. I want to do more Facebook Lives. Obviously not Saturday morning. You're just watching cartoons. But I want to be your support. So, and if you are in this situation, if you are in a relationship where you're like, I don't know what to do, maybe you have a business and that's your relationship's tanking your business, which will happen, reach out to me. Let's talk about working together. Just PM me and we'll figure it out. But what needs to happen for you is you need to have this peace inside. You need to do what's right for you. And that's very difficult without support. You can be in it for years. It sucks. So reach out to me. Let me know what questions you have on this. And if you guys need support, I'm here. And I will see you guys on the next Facebook Live.